Hello, everyone listening, and welcome to episode 24 of the Take It with a Grain of Sand podcast. We are your hosts, Mickey P.
And Ricky P.
And boy, oh boy, do we got a show for you today. We got 3 segments. We got What Grinds My Gears. We got New Business Idea. Second segment of that on the podcast. And a fan favorite, Nextdoor. Well, I don't know if it's a fan favorite, but it's a favorite of ours, so.
Yeah. And I just actually realized this is the first episode of the new year, 2024.
It sure is. We had a little break for the holidays, but now we're back, and you're going to be hearing from us a little more frequently. We're still not ready for regular uploads, so can't say when the next one will be, but it won't be another 2 months. I don't think so. Right, Ricky?
Nah. We got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot of ideas that we would like to share. So, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to another segment of What Grinds My Gears. Mickey, what grinds your gears?
You know, Ricky P, there's been a somewhat recent development in the world of tech and gaming, and it's grinding my gears. It's a little device called the PlayStation Portal.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of this. Okay. Let me inform any of the listeners out there that don't know what the PlayStation Portal is. The PlayStation Portal is this new gaming device. It's a handheld gaming device to play games on like a little screen. And I have a lot of issues with this. Let's start with, I don't know how many people might remember the PSP. You remember the PSP, the PlayStation Portable?
Yes.
Back in the day, we didn't have them. We kind of missed that wave. We were Nintendo kids, so we didn't have them, but like they were pretty poppin' at one point. And so it was like you can take this little gaming device, like you just put this in your kids' hands and they would be busy for a while. They'd be quiet, pretty much. But the thing is that the new PlayStation Portal was very hyped, and I think it's because people thought that it was a new version of the PSP. There hasn't been a new PSP in years. It's been so long. They're so old. We thought that that's what this was, right? Wrong.
Yeah.
The new PlayStation Portal is not a PSP. All right? And let me tell you how it's different. The PlayStation Portal cannot be taken with you outside of the house. First of all. And let me explain why. You have to have a PS5 to even use the PlayStation Portal. We just start with that, how ridiculous that requirement is. That is so ridiculous. Are you kidding? It doesn't even work if you don't have a PS5 to begin with. It has to connect to a PS5 in order to work. Which means that it has to stay connected to said PS5 in order to work, which means you can't leave the house with it. It has to be within range, and your PS5 has to be on for it to work.
That defeats the purpose of it being portable.
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason for this device. It's handheld and portable, and yet you can't leave the house with it. And if your PlayStation has to be on, then why don't you just play that? You gotta be you have to be in the house with your PS5 on. Why can't you just play your PS5 then? I don't see the purpose for this thing. And that's not the end of it. let me tell you something else about the new PlayStation Portal. You also, if you want to connect earphones to it, it does not have a headphone jack and it does not have Bluetooth. It has this certain type
What?
of software in it that only works with earphones made by PlayStation.
That's absurd.
I could not believe my ears when I heard this. You have to, if you want earphones, you have to buy the Sony PlayStation earphones to connect to it. You cannot use your own the earphones that you already have. Any third party gaming earphones, Beats, AirPods, none of that works. You can't. It's like the most insane thing. It's like purchase after purchase you have to make for this thing to work. I don't even understand the use case. It's such a specific scenario. Okay, they're saying what it's good for is that you have your PS5 connected to a family television, a shared TV, and someone else wants to use the TV. So you can just turn on the PlayStation and then take the PlayStation portal to another room and play it. That's the only scenario when this thing is useful. And like, I don't even think that many people are facing that, you know? Like, it
Mm.
only really makes any sense if you have multiple children, at least two children. So you have the PS5 in the living room for them to share, and someone wants to watch something. That's really the only scenario because like an older child, like a teenager that bought their own PS5 would just have it in their bedroom on their own TV. So then they can play it whenever they want to. A single person can just play their PS5 whenever they want. Like if you're single and live alone, you have unlimited access to your own television. Like this thing wouldn't even be helpful if the power went out either. Because if your PS5 doesn't have power, you can't even play this thing. That's the crazy part. You can't travel with it. You can't like if your PS5's if your internet's not working too. Your PS5 has to be connected to the internet as well. So if your internet's not working, you also can't use the PlayStation Portal. It's one thing after another. But you know what really blows my mind, Ricky?
What?
You know what really I cannot wrap my mind around is the fact that these things are sold out.
Oh, they are.
They're
I'm looking at
sold
one
out
right now.
everywhere. They were so popular. You can't get one now. That's crazy to me that so many people bought this thing. And what's wrong with you people? Why would you buy this? My theory is that at least half of the sales were people thinking that this was a new PSP. That's my theory on it, is that they didn't understand. They didn't read all the stuff. They just saw a new handheld
Mm.
gaming device by PlayStation and thought that it was a new PSP and bought it. But man, they're going to be disappointed once they get to the airport or something. The thing doesn't work. It will not work. I think that the stock. I mean, I haven't checked it in a while. This maybe the stock is back. I bet there was a whole bunch of returns after Christmas from people thinking that this was a new PSP, like or maybe people that didn't know that you have to have a PS5 and they didn't have a PS5, so it doesn't work. Because I don't. These things weren't
Maybe.
cheap either. They're like $300.
I just found the cheapest one for about 200.
Yeah, see, they're not cheap. So to buy it and then it doesn't, you can't even use it because now you have to spend another $500 to get a PS5 and another however much for the PlayStation earphones. It's just so like not consumer friendly. That's my issue with the PlayStation Portal. Like, this is not consumer first. This is not. It's truly just a money grab from PlayStation. And I don't really understand why they would need to do that, considering the wild success of the PS5. I'm not really understanding why they would want to. I saw a comment on a post about this that said, "Wow, PlayStation really said things have just been going too well."
No.
That's basically what it is. Like they just had too much success, and now they gotta dip it a little bit. They need some excitement over there. Things have been going up for too long. That's what it seems like.
Well,
What do you think of the PlayStation Portal, Ricky?
it, it kind of reminds me of the Wii U. Kind
Mm-hmm.
of.
It is a
Yeah.
little bit
But
similar.
there's like at least it's a console.
It's also kind of similar to the Switch.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures right now, and it doesn't look good at all. It's just like they took a PS5 controller, split it into two,
Mm-hmm.
they just made a tablet, and just slapped the two together. Like at least the Switch looks better. It looks natural. This does not look natural at all.
It looks really weird. It's like these two little handles hanging off of it. I don't really understand why you would want this thing. So apparently they did this like having the requirement that you have to have a PS5 and it has to be on and connected to the internet is because they wanted this thing to be so small. They had to not have all the parts in it, meaning that your PlayStation, it doesn't have a CPU basically. So your
Yeah,
PlayStation is the CPU like that's the background computer running. So the PlayStation Portal doesn't have a computer in it. But I'm just like you could have just made it a little bit thicker and given it all of that. It's not like the PSPs were huge.
yeah,
Like they weren't big or heavy. And with today's technology, they could still make them thinner than that and have computing power inside. Uh, I just don't understand the whole thing. I I really don't get why people are buying these. It doesn't really make sense to me. Um, yeah, I don't get it.
yeah.
They
Me neither.
they don't even look good. Apparently the gaming itself is very good. It's very high quality gaming experience. So at least there's
Okay.
that. But you do have to be in your house to play it. You got to be in your house with a PS5. Like, come on, like for at least with the Switch, you get all those parts in one
There we go.
purchase. That's the thing. Like, you
Yeah.
get the television traditional gaming part, and then you also get the
Yes.
portable, the ooh, I don't know why I said the portable part as well in one purchase. With this, you have to buy a PS5 and then buy this thing separately. And that's where
Yeah.
you've lost me. And I'm not sure about like the games. I'm assuming I mean what only makes sense to me since this thing is so thin they're not making physical games for this like game cartridges. So I'm assuming you just play the games that you have for your PS5. That's all that would make sense to me, which means that the game you want to play needs to be in and loaded. Or if you're playing a downloaded game, I guess that would alleviate that problem. I'm more of a physical copy. kind of gamer. I'm all
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah, so the game that you want to
Yeah.
play would have to be in your PlayStation, ready to go. If you like to use the physical copies, which is just another issue in the long line of issues with this device. Man, people really bought these things. I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
They okay. I think we've talked about the PlayStation Portal enough. Well, what's your final thoughts on the PlayStation Portal, Ricky?
Yeah. Just wait for the price drop. That's
Waiting
all
for
I'm
the
gonna
price.
say.
You don't even have a PS5, so you can't even get one.
Well, I mean, the PS5 is gonna have a price drop.
Yeah, they are eventually.
Yeah, just gotta wait for the price drop for PS5, and then wait for the price drop for this because it's just way too expensive
So
right now.
you're saying you would actually buy one?
I'm not saying I will buy one. Say for anyone who wants to buy one,
Oh.
it's not worth the
Yeah,
money
if you're
right now.
if you've got kids, that's really it. If you're living with children and you've got a PS5, and yeah, I feel like this is a perfect thing to hand some children. That's really all it's for to me, since you can't take it with you. Like that's truly where they lost me, is the fact that you can't travel with it. I don't even really mind how it looks. It's just the fact that you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Like it would be a great thing to have like in my purse for a waiting room, for the DMV, for the airport, all those types of things, like going places, having that distraction instead of just burning my phone battery, having a little handheld game. I miss handheld games. They're not like, besides the Switch, there's really not a lot of those anymore. So
Yeah.
that's what I thought that this was, and it's not. So my final thoughts on the PlayStation Portal is
So, I'm really thinking there needs to be a business idea that can actually benefit, the world. Not just America, maybe just America, but hmm, I don't know what business idea to actually take. So we're gonna leave it up to the business expert right here.
wow, what an introduction, Ricky. Business expert. You know, should we acknowledge that we've done this before?
Wait, did we?
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
everyone, what had happened was we recorded this segment separately, over Discord like we always do, but my side of the recording got all messed up, and it happens to the best of podcasters.
Yeah.
And, this is the first time that this has ever happened to us, and it took 24 episodes for it. So, honestly, I think we're doing pretty good. But now we're sitting in the same room to re record the segment that we've already done. So the business idea. The last time we did the business idea segment, I said I wanted grocery stores for single people, right?
Yeah.
And I still do. Now these ideas, they're up for grabs. Honestly, I don't care. Please take the idea. I don't think I want it now, and I don't want to wait until I can do it. I want it now. So if anyone's able to start a grocery store for single people, I will go to it. Just please do it. All right? And that's the same thing for this idea today. And Ricky, I want fun funerals.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Fun funerals. See, here's my problem. Funerals and death in the US is like just such a sad concept. You go to funerals, think about funerals. You go there,
Yeah.
you're supposed to wear all black and you're supposed to cry and be sad, and then we don't talk about it. Like death is just like this taboo hush hush culture. Like that's the death culture in this country.
Yeah.
You just don't talk about it and you're scared and it's dark and depressing. But there's other cultures where that's just not the case. Death is celebrated. It's just this part of life that's been accepted and celebrated. And death comes with like funerals are more of an occasion for people to get together and celebrate someone's life, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say like in India, they wear white to funerals.
Well, I didn't know that.
And yeah, so they wear and their wedding, they don't wear wedding dresses, white wedding dresses. They wear red wedding dresses.
Okay.
And then they wear white to funerals.
All right.
And
Okay.
then you take like Hispanic countries, they have the Day of the Dead. They make shrines to their dead loved ones and celebrate them and their life and things that they cared about.
Yeah.
But here we got to be all sad. I want to change the culture of death in the United States. I want to start a funeral home that brings light to death. Oh, and I forgot there's a country in Africa that the pallbearers when they carry the casket, they
Yeah.
dance with it. You seen that?
That's.
They carry the casket and they do this dance.
Yeah.
They like lift it up and down and they celebrate and they dance. I want that here. Because we see that and it's like that's disrespectful. That's not how we respect our dead. Well, why not?
Yeah.
I want fun funerals. And I want funerals where you go and there's pizza and there's a disco ball, confetti, music with a DJ. I want a party.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so much more fun? Like, why does funerals have to be this sad thing that you have to drag yourself to? You don't want to go to a funeral. What if funerals were an event that you wanted to attend?
Yeah. Like a party.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to attend to that.
I think that, and it should be, customized to the person that passed. Things that they cared about, the kind of music they liked, maybe their favorite kind of food is served.
Yes.
And you just celebrate them. You tell the stories about them, funny, whatever stuff.
Yeah.
Like, people dread the eulogy. Why can't the eulogy be a positive thing?
Mm. I mean, I can see that happening, but at the same time, I don't really think it's gonna be like a fast pace
No.
getting used to it.
No, see, the problem with this business is that it would be very unpopular at first because of the culture. We need a whole cultural shift for this to work.
Yes.
The whole, this whole country, we have to change our mindset about death. We need to talk about it. We need to be more open and then to eventually accept it as just the end of life, not necessarily sad.
Yes.
And then that's when fun funerals will take off.
All right.
Fun funerals. Fun funerals. We put the fun in funerals. That's a tagline.
All right.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Would you be open to this? Is this crazy? Or do you want the next funeral you go to be fun? Because I just think it's such a great idea. I want this is why I want anyone to take it too. Because I want the next funeral I go to be fun.
Okay.
I don't want to wait until I can start the fun funerals. I
Yeah.
want fun funerals today. So anyone out there that you start businesses, Please take this idea and start fun funerals so that we can change the culture of death and not have to dread going to funerals. We can wear fun clothes and have a good time. Maybe there can be cocktails, hors d'oeuvres,
Wait, what is that?
hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
We aren't trying to teach you what hors d'oeuvres is in this segment. This is about fun funerals.
Uh,
Y'all tell Ricky what hors d'oeuvres are in the comments.
and welcome back to another segment called Nextdoor, a social media app that neighbors use. I don't know the full details about it. What is on Nextdoor? Well, let Mickey P discuss it.
Yeah, we got another gem for you folks out there from the Nextdoor app. This was a while ago, but I saw this post and I knew I needed to take some screenshots and share it with the listeners from the Nextdoor app. All right, so here we go. There was this woman named Denise. I won't give her last name, but if her first name is Denise, that's not doxing. Okay, so it says, not sure why, but she had Amazon packages with her on her walk, 9:30 a.m. That's the caption. And there's a picture of a woman walking down the street in a coat and you can only see her back. It's of the back of her. So she's presumably carrying Amazon packages and Denise has taken a photo of this lady minding her business. And the comments blew up because the thing is, it like she doesn't know that they're stolen. Like she's kind of assuming and she's now put this woman's picture out there and just assuming that she stole these Amazon packages and she's walking away with them, which is insane.
Oh,
And that's a crazy thing to do to just post someone's picture. You didn't even see them commit a crime. You have no reason to think that
yes.
they committed a crime. So here's one of the comments. We got Pete. Pete said, "Is this a question? You should have stopped her and questioned her." And so then Denise responded back and said, "Well, I was on my way to work and had to open a business for my boss. So I didn't have time to interrogate a stranger on the street, and that might mean she has something that belongs to me. Being to my job on time is my priority unless there is a life or death situation." All right. So then Pete responds back to that and says, "This lady is walking along the road, minding her own business. This post made it seem like you knew she was up to something. I figured I'd ask to be clear," which is
Yes.
fully reasonable. I mean, all she said was not sure why she had Amazon packages with her on her walk, 9:30 a.m. Okay, we got some more comments, of course. Denise said minding her business with Amazon packages, responding back to Pete again. She's minding her business with
Oh.
Amazon packages. And so Christy jumps into the chat in response to that and says, "I guess now we'll never know based on the fact that you had no time to roll down your window and use words, but plenty of time to take a picture and post on Nextdoor. I hope you've learned based on the comments that although we like to stay informed, we do not appreciate prejudging or accusations without proof." Christy's on to something here, right?
yes. Yeah, definitely.
And then Bobby comes in as a voice of reason as well and says, "I've had to walk down to a neighbor's house on multiple occasions to get packages that was delivered to the wrong area. I wish someone who doesn't know me would try to interrogate me." I mean, and that's really the thing. Like she might be maybe those packages were delivered to her house by accident and she was walking them down to her neighbor that they belonged to.
Maybe.
Or maybe
Maybe.
she was picking them up from a neighbor's house. Maybe she had them delivered to someone else's house because she wasn't going to be home and she was picking them up. And it wasn't
Yeah.
that far, so she just walked. Maybe it was something on the same street, so she just walked instead of driving there. Like we're really
Yeah,
jumping
definitely.
that like Denise really jumped to conclusions here. We got another comment from Katie. She says she could be walking from an Amazon locker where she picked up packages, you know.
Huh.
Could have been walking
Maybe.
from Amazon. Um let's see here. We've also got something from Jonadon. She says, probably from your neighbor's porches. Well, John is on Denise's side. Must have been a criminal. But we don't have any proof she stole them. They weren't stolen from Denise. Usually, when people talk about package theft on Nextdoor, it's from their own home. That's really the thing. Because you don't know if it was stolen if it wasn't stolen from you.
Yeah.
So usually someone will post a video or pictures of someone picking up packages from their own porch. So this is kind of crazy that Denise just took a picture of a random person carrying packages. They weren't even taken from her. Um, last one we got Pete again. He started a whole new thread on in the comment section. It says, as mentioned before, we are always taught if you don't know, just ask. You should have stopped her and politely say, excuse me, everyone on nextdoor.com would like to inquire on the origin of those Amazon packages. All she had to do was ask. It's truly crazy. Like people are just taking pictures of people like this. Like I just could not imagine if I scrolled on the Nextdoor app and saw a picture of me minding my business and someone being like, this woman looks suspicious, you know? And like
Yes.
if the packages were stolen, it that should come the information should come from the victim, not a third party witness. Like,
Of
because
course.
Denise didn't even really see anything. She didn't see where the person got the packages from.
No, no, of course not. Just
So her witness,
happens.
like the way that she witnessed it, wasn't even helpful. She probably didn't even see where the person was going either. She was in such a
Yes.
rush
Yeah.
to get to work. She didn't even see where the person was going. So she really doesn't have any helpful information. But this information should come from the victim so that we know that there even was a crime. It may not have been a crime. And then that person can post it on Nextdoor. My packages were stolen.
Yes. But
And
I
then,
mean, there weren't any other posts about stolen packages.
no, nothing related that it seemed. So Denise was really just criminalizing a random person. Don't know if they did anything wrong. They probably didn't.
I don't know. I don't believe it.
You don't believe what?
You don't. No, I don't believe Denise at all. I mean, you don't really have any other proof. You're just only just making assumptions. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really extremely glad that there are actually people in these comments that are actually thinking rationally. Well, like
Exactly.
majority of people who are thinking rationally about the situation,
Exactly. That's
and
just makes
like,
sense.
and like all of it just kind of just boils down to you're just making this up
Mm-hmm.
for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Went out of her way to take a picture of a stranger. For what?
Like, nah, that. I mean, if anything, Denise is actually a criminal for just what taking a random picture of someone and
I
then
don't know
just
if
actually
that's a
making it
crime.
lies.
But
I mean,
the false
uh,
accusation, that's a crime.
yeah, taking someone
That's
and then just making like a false accusation.
that's really not good. And that I think that's the age that we live in. Like this couldn't have happened before smartphones and social media. Like it's kind of a big
Yeah.
thing now. You just take pictures of strangers you think are doing something interesting, weird, whatever,
Yes.
funny. People are just taking pictures of strangers, and I think that that's just the weirdest thing. And it just did not used to happen because taking pictures at one point costed money. Like you had to buy film. So like you weren't taking pictures of
Yes.
random strangers. And even if you did, you didn't have anything to do with them. Like there was no way to put them out there like there is now.
Nah.
So yeah, I think that the smartphones and social media are really getting to people. There's a little too much access where you can just take anyone's picture and post it. This reminds me of a time where I saw a picture of, I think it was like a TikTok or something, or maybe it was a video of a girl in college in a lecture, and she was crocheting during the lecture, and they took a video of her and said whatever. So some people are crocheting class or whatever, random comment that they made about her behavior, and then she herself responded back to it while crocheting, saying, "Yeah, I like to crochet during my lectures. How about you mind your own business? Why are you taking videos of me?" you know? And then it's that. It's so weird to just take videos of random people just because you think they're weird. Like, she wasn't hurting anyone. She was minding her business. She paid to be there just like everyone else. You can do whatever you want in a college lecture as long as it's not disrupting the class. So if she wants to sit there and crochet, that's really her business. And it's just so
Yeah.
crazy to take a video of someone you don't even know and just post it on the internet. That's what's happening right now. And it's kind of crazy to me. Now I'm
Mm.
just patiently waiting for the time where it's me. I don't know what it's gonna be or what I'm
Nah.
gonna be doing, but everyone's time's gotta come where someone just takes a picture or a video of you and puts it on the internet. Man, I hope I'm at least having a good hair day.
For me, hopefully I'm anonymous, so like I don't really people see my face. But even if they actually don't, I don't even know how to even react. Like I
It
was thinking
depends.
about, like, yeah, I was just thinking about like lawsuits, but then I was like, if it was like something like a little bit subtle, like I don't want people to know that it was me who was in the picture.
Mm-hmm. If it was really weird,
Yes.
yeah. I don't think I'd want anyone to know who it is either. But if it's like not even a big deal, like the woman that picked up the Amazon packages, I would want to respond to that and be like, actually, I was bringing them to a neighbor's house. They were delivered to me by accident. I was doing the right thing. I am not a criminal. Like if that's the case, I would want to defend myself because what she was doing wasn't weird. It's just Denise decided that it was weird that she was carrying Amazon packages at 9:30 in the morning. So, yeah, if it's something like that where I can just defend it and be like, no, this is what I was doing. And if you had asked me instead of taking my picture, I would have told you. I would want to respond to something like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, that y'all just better watch out there. You never know who's watching. The doorbell cameras are getting way more prevalent. They're everywhere. Everyone's got a camera in their pocket as well. So you just gotta be careful. I don't know how to protect yourselves from this. It's just gonna happen. You
Mm.
might as well embrace it. One day, someone's gonna take a picture of you without your consent and do whatever they want with it. And I just think that that's just the reality of our culture at this point. I don't think there's anything you can really do. concludes our show for today. Take it with a grain of sand. Thank you for listening. And remember
to take it with a grain of sand.
Yeah, that.